Hi, I'm Maria and today we are making soy braised beef. Every time I make this dish, when people come into the house, they go, oh my God, what is that cooking? So with that in mind, I am starting the dish with a whopping 4 pounds of beef because this freezes really well. If people call into your house, a little impromptu visit over the Christmas, you're going to have something delicious to give to them and they're going to want to stay. So the first thing that we do is we take our beef. My preference is for beef shin, but you can absolutely just use normal diced beef. And I'm just going to coat it in a little bit of flour. And this is going to help give the beef a lovely crust and not fall apart during the slow cooking process. Next up, I'm going to season the beef. Now this does have soy sauce in it, so I'm just going in with a tiny little bit of salt and then quite a lot of black pepper. So I'm going to pop all that in. It's probably about a teaspoon in total. Then grab your tongs and toss it up. Make sure that every piece of beef is coated with the flour and the salt and the pepper. So now the big casserole dish, I've got some neutral oil. So you're looking for like a rapeseed oil or a sunflower oil, something like that. And I'm going to take a couple of pieces of beef and pop them into the pan. We're looking to get this really, really brown. You want it brown and crusty all the way around so that when it slow cooks, that it stays in lovely pieces and doesn't go into shreds. Now, I could probably fit one more piece in there, but that's about as much as you want to put it into the pot. So once you have your beef all browned off in batches, that is all the work over in this recipe. The rest of it is really simple. It's a case of just throwing some ingredients into a pot and going off and having a nice walk for yourself and coming back to delicious slow braised beef. Okay, so now we're going to prepare the aromatics. I said the next part was easy and I really, really meant it. All we're going to do is take a nice big piece of ginger and take a couple of thick slices of it. Next, I'm going to take a couple of cloves of garlic, use as many as you want, and just give them a little crush and take off the skins. So now we're going to take the sliced ginger and the garlic over to the pot and we're just going to pop it in. And what we want to do is develop a bit of colour on this. Add just a touch more oil into the pot to help that along. So now that our ginger and garlic have got a little bit of colour, I'm going to go in with the aromatics. I have got 4 star anise and some cinnamon, which brings just a hint of Christmassy vibes and some lovely aromatics to the dish. Next up, I go in with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. These are going to be balanced out nicely with red wine, a little bit of sherry and some soy sauce, so we want that nice sweetness in there. So when that beef was browning off, we developed some lovely crusty beefy flavour in the bottom of the pot. I want to deglaze that now with some delicious soy sauce. So in that goes. Then, if you happen to have some leftover red wine during the festive period, you know them little bits at the bottom of the bottle? Save all them up and use them to create this dish. Just pour that in. And then the last of the Christmas sherry. Now scrape the bottom of that pot as it comes up to the boil. All them little brown bits of beef will loosen up and it'll add to the richness of the dish. Now to cut through all that wine and bring a little essence of Christmas back to our lives, I'm going to pop in a clementine which I've just sliced in half. So that goes in whole and we can pick it out afterwards. Okay, so you could serve this with rice, you could serve it with noodles, but my preference is with some gorgeous creamy parsnip puree, nothing more than some peeled parsnips, a little bit of salt and pepper and some gorgeous butter. So we're just going to peel the parsnips, cut them up small, and look how much easier it is to peel the parsnip than to peel a potato. So the parsnips, you can chop them up fairly small, but just make sure they're all evenly sized so that they cook around the same time. Just pop them into a pot, fill it up with water and cook them until they're tender. So our parsnips are cooked and drained. I'm just going to season them up with a nice pinch of salt and a nice bit of pepper and blitz them up with some gorgeous butter. It is Christmas after all, so I'm going to put in a nice few knobs of butter. Now we're going to blitz them up. So now that everything's cooked, we're going to plate up with some creamy parsnip puree, our gorgeous slow cooked beef and a few little chives sprinkled over the top for green and freshness. So here we have it, gorgeous soy braised beef, perfect for them awkward days between Christmas and New Year's. Simple to put together, just rich enough and full of gorgeous aromatics.